In order to play Liar's Dice, each player needs 5 dice and a cup. This cup should be opaque for reasons that will be explained in a bit. To begin a round of Liar's Dice, everyone shakes their dice in their cups, then quickly flips their cup like so, trapping the dice beneath. Each player is allowed to look at their own dice, but shouldn't let anyone else see them. Now for the tricky part. Looking at our dice, we see that we have a couple 2s and then a few other things. This is good information, but it's only one player's worth of dice. In order to win this game, it's important to be able to guess what's under these players' cups, whilst not helping them figure out what you have under yours. That's where the bidding comes in. Bidding is the next phase of the game, where the players have to speculate what numbers were rolled and how many of each are on the table. For instance, I know that there are 2 2s under my cup, but how many are there under these players' cups? All of us have 5 dice, so out of 15 dice, there's probably at least one more out there, so I'll say 4 2s as my bid. The next player looks at their dice, and now they have a few options. They can raise the bid, call bluff on my bid, or say that my bid was spot on. If the player was to raise the bid, they would counter by bidding a higher number, a higher quantity, or both. Raising a bid is the most common way to respond to a bid, but you probably want to be careful and not get too crazy with your numbers. A bid of 10 6s might seem a bit out there, and instead of raising the bid from there, the other players might call bluff. When a player calls bluff on a bid, all players reveal their dice, and the numbers and the quantities are counted up, keeping in mind what the last bid was. If the totals were equal to the bid or over, then the player who called bluff loses the round. On the other hand, if the totals were under the bid, then the bidder loses the round. When a player loses a round, they must discard one of their dice, so they will be rolling with one less in the next round. This makes it harder to know what the rolls are on the table, so losing dice isn't a good strategy. Even if it was, when you lose all 5 of your dice, you're out of the game, and the last player with dice wins. The third option is a little riskier, but can pay off when playing with a lot of other players. When a player declares the last bid as spot on, all the players reveal their dice as before, but this time the last bid has to match the actual total on the table exactly. If the call was correct, then the player who declared it was spot on wins the round and every other player loses. Otherwise, the caller loses. So that's the basic game of Liar's Dice, but there are plenty of variations in house rules. For a quicker game, you can give this one a try. The number of dice lost when a bluff is called would be equal to the difference of the bid and the actual total. In this case, the bid was 8 4s, and there were only 6, so the bidder would lose 2 dice in this round. Another variant tries to give 1s a boost by making them count as wilds, so a roll like this could be 4 2s or 3 5s. One final house rule that I'll mention changes spot on's rules so that if you call spot on and you are right, you actually take 1 die from the bidder to use for your own rolls. If you are wrong, you lose 2 dice instead. I know there are many ways to play, and if you know any of the other variations, I would love to hear about them in the comments. And until next time, this is Hogwash, over and out, catch you later.